Betty requested when I got back from Colorado last weekend, she asked if I could share today, and she's like, sorry, we don't have time on the schedule, on Monday. And I'm like, I'm exhausted. Don't worry about it. I need a week to just process what the Lord's done. And as I was preparing to share the update on Lacey and all that the Lord's doing through her and in her life, since she was arrested for a crime that not only she was falsely accused of, it's a crime that never happened, in August of 2006. So I just want to stop for a moment and say, where were you in August of 2006? Where have you traveled? What have you done? How old were your children? How many years of education have they gone through since August of 2006? That's the day Lacey Nelson and her husband were arrested for a crime that never committed. Another couple in Colorado experienced the same thing a few years ago. They spent $8 million defending themselves for the truth and the innocence of what they were falsely accused of. Chris, can you show that Justice for Lacey video? Thank you. This is a video that was reproduced by Amy into a 2-minute trailer.
Is convinced she's innocent. The evidence that was not able to be presented to the jury shows she's innocent. And this is a young woman with no bad aspect to her, who got wrapped up in a situation that wasn't even her own. She's been separated from her children. She's sitting in a cell at the Denver Women's Correctional Facility, and she shouldn't be there.
A judge emailed me out of the blue and said, I have a case that I want to talk to you about. Can we meet? And I met with this judge, and they said, will you keep this anonymous? I don't want to be outed. But there is a case, and I think this person is innocent. Her name is Lacey Nelson. I've been part of this case as a judge, but we're not going to be able to provide her relief because of lawyering problems and procedural problems.
Lacey Nelson testified at her first trial, which resulted in a hung jury. At least 4 jurors believed she was not guilty. At Lacey Nelson's second trial, she was advised not to testify, and she was convicted.
I mean, I think this is one of those rare cases where the system has failed.
I've always felt horrified that Lacey was convicted on this. I have no doubt that Lacey is innocent of these charges, as innocent as Shannon was and is. The appeal process saved Shannon. She was able to get back into trial and to have a jury see this case for what it was. That's been denied Lacey. None of her appeals were successful. And I think the system really has failed her.
For more information, go to www.justiceforlacey.com. On the table in the back, I put together some information about 3 aspects that Lacey currently operates in. One is pursuing justice. Obviously, the legal system has failed her, not once, not twice. She has received up to 12 no's in all of her appeals process since she was incarcerated on April 1st, which I think is just a whole sign of the devil, that he would play a really big fooling prank on her. April 1st, 2009, she went to reside at Denver Women's Correctional Facility. In this private family setting, I will update you on some of the amazing things that have happened in her legal process since April 1st, when many of you participated in a 40-day fast forward for Lacey event. When many of you saw signs, you had dreams, all kinds of things. Here's what's happened. I feel like the fast forward to Lacey, just that whole 40 days, whoosh, pushed her upward and forward. You saw Justin Marceau. He was the law professor at the Denver College of Law. The Sturm College of Law at Denver University has a legal clinic that fights for people's religious freedoms. And Lacey's attorney, Gail Johnson, reached out to them a few years ago and asked them to take Lacey's case. And this year they said they would. So at the beginning of this semester, law students are beginning to learn how to assist in fighting Lacey's case. The whole process will take 2 to 3 years minimum. They met with Lacey on Thursday last week, and they basically told her, "We believe you. We believe you're innocent." And of course, why would they take the case if they didn't think she was? The whole reason that Lacey is incarcerated is because the Denver law, in regards to the crime she was committed to, requires somebody to admit guilt to a crime they never committed in order to be eligible for parole. Lacey's been denied parole 4 times now since 2021 and will continue to be denied parole. She'll spend the rest of her life in prison for a crime she never committed unless she's willing to admit guilt for a crime she never committed. That never even happened. So we have a law clinic that is taking up her case and fighting for her. It's never been done before. The state of Colorado, no one has ever defeated the SOMB in the state of Colorado. But can you say, our God? And even in the worship service, in the songs that we sang, all powers and positions, your name stands above them all. These governors, these legislators, these lawmakers that have been voted into position, who are not just, are the reason we're not seeing justice for Lacey. The Lord told me there are not just there are not just people in positions of authority. That's why we're not seeing justice for Lacey. The Corey Wise Innocence Project out of the University of Colorado in Boulder has also taken up Lacey's case to fight for her clemency. This has been over 1.5 years now that they are waiting to submit for her clemency. We keep asking, why are you waiting? Get it submitted, get it submitted. So if you could please keep the Corey Wise Innocence Project in your prayers, as well as the legal clinic at Sturm College of Law, that would be great. Now, in the process of all of these fights and all of these battles in the legal system, Lacey continues to do amazing things, and I have 3 minutes to tell you about those amazing things. A few years ago, she had 2 lobes of her lung removed during a procedure where her lung was infected and overlooked for 8 months. I won't go into detail, but what I will go into is that the Lord spoke to her during her recovery process in the infirmary at the prison and she said, "Lord, what do you want me to do with my tithe money this year? Anything that she gets sent, she tithes on." The Lord told her, "I want you to buy glasses for women in prison." And so she did. She began. And since the middle of 2021, 220 pairs of glasses have been purchased. A lot of that is supported by the inmates themselves. They send money. We manage all of that. 220 pairs of glasses. And one of the women wrote me a letter and basically said, "I couldn't see. I didn't know there were mountains outside of my window." The glasses that are provided by the Department of Corrections are not good quality. visionofhopedoc.com provides an avenue for that for them. The other part, and if you could, Chris, just start showing the pictures that I sent you. Just skip over the videos, just show the pictures. Last week, on September 28th, there's Lacey on the left in the yellow shirt. Everybody wears a yellow shirt and green pants. Those will not be colors that she will ever want to wear again when she gets out. And there's Jana, our adopted daughter that took care of Lacey when she was really ill with JC, one of the speakers. There was an event inside the Denver Women's Correctional Facility and there's Lieutenant Blair on the right-hand side. Pause there for just a second. This is Darlene. Some of you got a text message from me when I was in Denver. She came and sat down next to me when we were at the event. She was having a diabetic issue. Her blood sugar was dropping. She was checking it with one of those little meters. I said, "What's going on?" She goes, "Oh, I'm diabetic." Da, 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 da. Well, I start praying. This girl has a doctorate in biblical studies. She prays in tongues. I started praying for her. Her mother died from diabetes, and she said she gets fear and anxiety when she gets an attack. So we dealt with that. We called it out. And right as soon as we finished praying, I sat down next to her and she checked. She goes, "My blood sugar's perfect." I'm like, "Of course it is." So you can keep scrolling through the pictures. The Hope Summit was something that Lacey said the Lord put on her mind, is to bring speakers into the prison and provide hope. Hope is another program that she helps operate and facilitate inside the prison. It stands for Helping Others Progress Effectively. They take women who are arriving at women's prison on tours, and that includes the new transgenders that started arriving 2 weeks ago. The transgenders are in a safe place now. I know it sounds horrible, them men to be in a women's prison, but these men were taken advantage of in ways we don't even want to talk about. 7 speakers all day. It costs about $2,600 to put this event on for 72 women. And Lacey got it done. No after no after no. She kept going back and getting okay. It got done. And then at the last minute, Ken and I were given access, given permission to attend the event, which we had originally been denied. So God is just doing some amazing things in the process. Yes, we can say it's a Joseph moment, but Joseph, Lacey's surpassed the years that Joseph's been in prison. So I printed out some information about all that Lacey does. There's a website. Amy and Cynthia have been so helpful in this. An amazing website. You can find out more information. And of course, my phone number's at the bottom of this page if you have any questions. Your prayers are welcome. Your insight is welcome. One other thing. We sat at a table, and Lacey's old roommate was at that table, and I was talking to her about a book that I recommended she read, He Came to Set the Captives Free. And I told her how it deals with Satanists, and she said, oh, there's a Satanist at my table. Well, unbeknownst to me, we got invited to sit at that table. And we got to speak to the 3 girls that were there. And the girl who's a Satanist, she wants a Satanist Bible sent in for her. Another girl wanted a Bible, so I sent in a Bible for her, and I'm asking the Lord, can I please just go ahead and just like drop a Bible in? So if you want to donate also to Bibles, we do provide Bibles for girls. Lacey will call me every once in a while and ask for those too. Come on, KK, tell us what's going on.